please be.
Mr. Delacorte?
Yes.
Mr. Lorenzini?
Here.
Mr. Barr?
Here.
Mr. Donato?
Here.
Mr. Galati?
Here.
Oh, I think they took the flag away because they're doing this state of the.
We got a little one.
We got the tiny flag there. I mean,
I just realized that.
A tiny one. All right, can we all stand for the pledge, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. All right, first order of business, acceptance of the minutes from April 9th, 2024. Has everybody had a chance to review?
Yes.
Very good. Any changes, modifications? No? All right, can I have a motion, please, to approve the minutes as written?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Can I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. All right, next order of business, public hearing, appeal number 247820, area variance, Old State Road 561 to 563, Gabe Vega seeking an area variance, section 24037 and 24081.7B of district regulations in an HB zoning district, where a minimum of 25% is required. The applicant can provide 13% of commercial office space, thus requesting a variance of 12%. The property is located at 561 to 563 Old State Road on 1.78 acres and is identified as tax grid number 6157025807777 in the town of Wappinger. Can I have a motion to open public hearing?
Motion to open the public hearing?
Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. So moved. All right. For the record, please, your name.
Gabriel Vega,
And can you,
561 Old State Road.
gotcha, and give us a brief description of why you need and why you need it.
So there's a stipulation in the town of Wappinger's code that there's needed 25% commercial space in highway business. So it's a odd property. So we're seeking a little bit of relief on the fact of its residential component for the most part. So we're looking to do a little bit of an office space with an apartment for that structure.
Gotcha. All right, so we were all out there on Saturday, you know, took a look through the structure, see what you got going on there. You got your work cut out for you.
Yep.
That's for sure. I mean, pretty straightforward. I know it's kind of an odd thing, right? Judy, he needs to have the commercial piece, right?
Correct.
Yeah. That being said, you know, the whole area there kind of fits in with what you want to do. Again, like I said, straightforward. The structure needs a lot of work. Anything you're going to do there is going to improve it.
Yep.
I don't really have any questions or any additional questions for the applicant, if you guys do.
The site's not fully built out, correct?
I beg your pardon?
The site's not fully built. You could add a structure in theory if you wanted to?
Well, we would have to finish currently the site plan that we have. After we finish that site plan, thereafter we could potentially, you know, go to the planning board for another structure.
I mean, I personally have no problem with what you're proposing. You know, both structures are residential in nature. You know, the only thing I can think is that it doesn't make sense that if he does decide to add a third building, like, should that be a commercial building? Should that go to the percentage mandated by the zoning?
I don't know.
Well, I think that would go back to the zoning, because as long as the third structure is commercial in nature, that would alleviate the 25%, and then I can go back and maybe make that structure currently, you know, fully residential.
And in anything that, if and when he decided to do anything, you have to go before the planning board. Right? And
Yeah.
get approval to do that. And if it kicks up some kind of a zoning issue, it'll be back here.
That's our plan.
It'll be back in front of us.
I mean, in the past, we've conditioned these on the existing structures, remaining. And if the existing structures are removed or new structures added, it would, basically reset this variance. I'm just wondering if we should do something like that.
Judith, a question for you. What Mr. Vega is saying that we have to have this current site plan approved before he
Correct.
put a third building up. That's something the town is?
So this came before the planning board previously, and part of the condition was that this would be what he did. So the previous owner had to complete this. When Mr. Vega bought the property, he in turn inherited that he must complete that. So this is what has to happen.
Okay, thank you.
Got it. Got it. I don't know, David, what we should or should not condition. If we were to condition anything, I think if the applicant were to, in the future, make any additions to the property, like I said, he's gonna have to be before the planning board anyway.
Right, that condition would follow it right along anyway,
And he's
correct?
gonna have to go through the process, right? Approval process anyway. So,
I mean, in theory, you can make the one building fully residential and then do a 12% commercial building. I just wonder if he's adding a building, if it should go back to the 25% commercial building.
I'm sure it would have to be.
I don't think, it wouldn't, right? I mean,
D- Exactly, does this apply to just this building, or if that were to happen?
it
Well,
follows the
if we were
property.
to add another structure, the component of highway business is a minimum of 25%. So if we were adding a commercial structure, it would meet that component.
or you know what we could do?
It would go
Maybe-
back to chapter 240 of the zoning.
Well, maybe
Correct.
the solution is that if we were to grant the variance, it would apply only to this structure.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, there you
Would you be comfortable with that?
Yeah,
As a
yeah.
condition?
Simplify.
If we were gonna do anything anyway, it would be commercial
Yeah.
on a third structure.
So if you did a third structure, it would be making the condition better. That would be
Correct,
your
yeah,
intent.
that's our goal, is to, because that component of that Saldrum Parmentier Way, like right across the street, we're looking at a dealership, so it's not like we're gonna add more residential. It's not like really, I don't think somebody's gonna move into Wappingers and say, oh, I wanna see that dealership every morning.
Yeah, it's kind of an odd area of the
I
city.
agree with you.
Yeah. I mean, I think they are thinking that, that and the lots behind you, which are residential now, essentially would slowly transition to commercial over time, which,
Yeah.
Hasn't happened, but it,
No, and that
Could.
lot's been,
Yeah.
that lot's been in bad shape for a while.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Yeah.
also, just in taking into consideration, we do have a sewer line easement, a wetland buffer.
Yep.
And probably difficulty in meeting setbacks towards the other side. So it's somewhat, the lot is somewhat restrictive as to what he can do.
Right.
Just by the structure, or the easements, et cetera, on the
And then the shape of the
parcel.
property too. It'd be difficult to squeeze something else in
Right.
there.
So he's fulfilling what was already set by precedent that when he purchased this, that he must.
Gotcha.
yeah, I mean, I would just condition this for the existing structures then.
Yeah, I agree. Anybody in the audience have anything to comment, questions about this application? All right, then can I have a motion then, please, to close the public hearing?
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
All right, can I have a second?
I'll second.
So moved. All right, can I have a motion then to grant or deny the applicant the variance? I'll make a motion to grant the applicant the variance. I don't believe that the benefit can be achieved by any other feasible means. It's not gonna create any undesirable change in the neighborhood. It's gonna improve it, for sure. Whether the change is substantial, yes, it is, but it's not enough to sway my decision. Whether the request will have any adverse physical or environmental effects, no, it will not. And is the request self-created? Yes, it is, again, but not enough to sway my decision. So I am gonna vote in favor, but I am gonna condition it in that the variance that we're gonna grant this evening only applies to that structure. Okay, anything else you would do there, if it needed a variance, you'd have to be back here. All right, so then, that being said, I make a motion to grant. Could I have a second?
Second?
Okay, roll call, please, B.
Mr. Delacorte?
Yes, granted.
Mr. Lorenzini?
Yes.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Donato? Mr. Gallardi?
Yes. Thank you, variance is granted.
Thank you.
Free to go. Have a good night.
Good luck.
All righty, next up on the agenda, appeal number 247821, area variance, Caitlin and Jesse Shellock, seeking an area variance, section 24037 and 24020B of district regulations in an R20 zoning district, where 50 feet to the front yard property line is required. The applicant can provide 15 feet to create a flagpole lot for 30 Easter Road to access Circle Drive, thus requesting a variance of 35 feet. The property is located at 30 Easter Road on 1.0 acres and is identified as tax grid number 605601216765 in the town of Wappinger. I have a motion to open the public hearing.
Motion open.
Have a second?
Second?
All right, so moved. So, name and address for the record, please.
Jesse Shellock, 12 Lake Drive.
Gotcha.
Caitlin Shellock, 12 Lake Drive.
Gotcha. Okay, and a brief description of what you need and why you need it, please, for anybody listening in.
We're seeking a variance to put in a driveway to 30 Easter Road. There is access, there's kind of access from River Road, but obviously the bridge is out, so that's a no-go. And then there's a driveway going back to Easter Road off of Circle Drive, but that's a private driveway, so that's not a means of legal access either. So we're seeking to do a driveway through 10 Circle Drive back to the property.
Gotcha. We were all out there on Saturday, walked the property, thanks for that, see exactly what you got going on there. Kind of a crazy set of circumstances, right, to say the least. But that Easter Road seems to have a lot of that stuff going on. You know, we saw exactly what you need and why you need it. I don't have a lot of questions. You know, we did discuss a little bit like the type of agreement you're going to have, right, to cut through there. It's more or less a handshake, right, type of thing. Again, that's not our purview, but I'm sure your attorney is advising you on how and what to do along those lines. I guess I'm just saying, be cautious, right?
Yes.
That type of a thing. As far as the variance goes, I don't have any other questions. I mean, walking the property, you can see exactly what you're up against. You know, I don't have any questions, further questions, I should say, if you guys do or not.
Yeah, I mean, I would just note that, you know, there are quite a few similar lots with these kind of flag connections to roads. I think, how many did you say there were in this?
There's at least 11,
Okay.
and several of them have very similar availability of frontage as this one
Access.
does. Yeah,
Yeah.
access, yeah.
Access, flag type lots.
I mean, the only other comment I had is, you know, there's still like, you know, 5 other properties that are going to have issues in the future. You know, it's not this board's job to resolve that, but, you know, I wonder if we should, you know, have a letter drafted to the town board to review this issue further.
Look into it, sure.
I don't know anything about that bridge or why it's been out for ages. No idea. But I think it would be worth, you know, requesting the town
collapsing.
board to look into
The bridge
this.
is collapsing.
Yeah,
Tom and I went and took a look at it.
yeah.
Yeah, but they got the I-beams right there.
It hasn't
Put
been
new
fixed
ones in.
for some reason.
I'm
I mean,
just saying,
you
he
essentially
wanted
have
to
a
know
dirt
what's wrong.
road, right? Like your neighbors and,
That's discussion for another night. But,
Yeah.
I mean, the bridge has come into play a couple
Yeah.
times in applications on that road in the past. And, you know, that's something that we're not going to resolve this evening, but it's something certainly the town should.
Yeah,
should
recommendation to the
entertain.
town board,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah,
so I would move that we, you know, make that recommendation to the town board to review this area in a little bit more detail.
I'd agree.
You know, the properties that are basically landlocked, that don't have neighbors willing to give them these types of connections.
so be that, but that's an official motion, right? So we need a second.
I'll second
All in
that.
favor?
Aye.
So
You
moved.
you made a motion,
Correct.
right, and.
John,
thank you,
second,
Thank you.
and we all agree.
Kind of one other thing I'd like to say is that the neighbor on, I guess, the other side of your property, as you're facing your property on the left side, has been kind enough to let you use that road, but he's kind of holding out on giving you access to that road.
Yes.
Which would solve your problems if he wasn't doing that.
Yes.
So
I mean, you're
he
basically
kinda-
using a driveway to access a property, which is not, you know,
Yes.
sustainable.
If
Now, if there's a conflict, there's a problem.
Yeah, we approached him to try to sign something, and he wasn't willing to
Right.
give us legal access to our property that way, so.
Yeah, so he's kind of forcing your hand. You
Yes.
have to do something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it kind of, options are limited, I guess, to say the least. I don't have any other questions. You guys?
No, that was my question.
Anybody in the audience have anything to comment on this application? You have to come to the mic, and your name. Come on up to the mic.
Guys, would you just step to the side for a second? Thank you.
State your name, please, and address.
Annie DeVilla. I live on 8th Circle, so I know you guys. So my back of the house faces their house, and we were trying to decipher what a flagpole property is.
Flag lot.
Is there any, you guys are...
Ma'am, you have to speak into the microphone, please?
So I guess the question is that there'll be no access from like our backyard into Easter Road.
Now, do you want to come look at the site plan? It might be more
I
obvious.
have no idea. I don't know what a
No, well, if you-
flagpole is. I don't
Just
know.
going to show you. It's a flagpole lot, it's called. That's terminology.
Okay.
He'll show you.
So if this is their lot, this neighbor is essentially giving them this portion of his property for a driveway. So it's the driveway we're talking about.
Okay.
So 15 foot, it basically would come out adjacent to the other driveway here.
Okay.
So that's all we're talking about. This would only be for their use.
Awesome. I had no idea. Like, I didn't understand.
Kind of looks like a flag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of the time, it's a little straighter.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's it.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate
So,
that.
so we just
Good
didn't,
luck, you guys.
Ma'am,
we didn't quite catch what your name was or where your property was, or why you were
Diana Davila,
Davila.
Okay.
8 Circle Drive.
Okay, so the back of your property faces the Schiller property.
Theirs.
Okay,
Right.
thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yep. Thanks. Thanks. Anybody else in the audience? All right, can I have a motion then to close the public hearing?
I'll make a motion that we close the public.
Can I have a second?
I'll sec.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Could I have a motion then, please, to grant or deny the applicant? the
I'll make a
variance?
motion to grant. This requested variance will not produce an undesirable change in the character of the neighborhood. As a matter of fact, it will help the neighborhood. There is not a substantial detriment to created to nearby properties. There's not really another feasible method available other than the town maybe getting in there and fixing the road, but to achieve the benefit you seek, other than requested variance, the requested variance is substantial. The proposed variance will not have an adverse effect or impact on the physical and environmental conditions in the neighborhood or district. And being that the alleged difficulties is self-created, I still don't see that as a reason not to grant you the variance.
All right. So we have a vote to grant the applicant the variance. Could I have a second?
Second,
All in favor? No, I'm sorry. Roll call, please, V.
Mr. Delacorte?
Yes, granted.
Mr. Lawrence?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Donato?
yes.
Mr. Valari?
Yes. All right, so your variance has been granted.
Thank you.
All right, good luck.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Good luck,
Thank you for your
guys.
service as well.
Thank you. Jerry.
Yes, thank you for your service.
All right, so with no further business before the board tonight, I would make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
There's a second. All in favor?
Aye.
So move, we are adjourned.